Lately, I felt like, man, I bet there's a lot of dudes struggling. I don't know what it is, but I just feel this energy like there's a lot of dudes struggling, and I need to make a message for the dudes that are struggling, that are going through hard times right now, that feel like maybe there's no hope in sight in terms of business, in terms of life, in terms of relationship, in terms of finances, in terms of mental health, in terms of physical health. And I want to let you know there is hope. And I want to prove it to you in this video that there is hope. All right, so let's dive into it. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There's been plenty of times in my life where I felt hopeless, where I felt like, how can I control the economy? I'm not the president. How can I control who buys from me? You know, I'm not stuck in the customer's head. How can I control the person I'm with? When I was younger and I was dating, I would always think like, how can I control this person's feelings towards me, right? And I realized over time that you really can't control anyone's feelings towards you. What you can do is control the factors that are within your control. And that's the message here. And this is going to be a short video, and I want to talk to you guys about this. Controlling the controllables. When life does not deliver what you're looking for, in other words, right now the economy is kind of shitty, right? And stock market took a dip. It's climbing back up. It might take another dip. The housing market, not the best. I don't know how your relationship is going. I don't know how your work or your business is going. And life may not be going exactly as you want it to go. And you're like, man, if only things could change. Well, the things that are outside of your control, you can't change those. And so when that thing happens and you're reminded that I can't change those factors, then you have to go, well, what are the things within my locus of control that I can influence? And usually those things are things like, you ready for this? What time you work out. Things like what time you go to bed. Things like what time you go to the gym. Things like what you eat. Things like whether you drink coffee, beer, or water throughout the day. Things like the calls that you make. And at the end of the day, when you realize that you have a lot more control of these variables than you thought, it begins to give you hope, and it becomes very empowering, doesn't it? And I share this with you because when we don't have a lot of control in our lives, we tend to get down and depressed and get into a funk and feel a bit of like a victim. But when we realize we do have a greater sense of control because the locus of control is within us. And that locus of control is, what time can I wake up? What should I eat in the mornings to stay lean and athletic? What kind of workouts should I do? When should I go to the gym? How can I make that a priority? If business is slow, I can't change the customer's mind, but what I can do is reach out to more customers. Can I find more leads? Can I make more sales calls? Those are all things within your control, right? If you're normally making 50 sales calls, make 100 sales calls, right? If you're, someone reached out to me on a DM, part of the reason I'm making this video is someone reached out to me he's like, man, my girl of 5 years left me. We were going to get married. We had talked about having this awesome relationship and this great life. We were going to have a family, and she's gone. She left me. She went back to her old ex. Well, guess what? He can't control her. He can't control getting her back. And quite honestly, he shouldn't try and get her back. What he should do is become the best version of himself. What he should do is become the next best version of himself to attract the woman who is going to value him, who is going to appreciate him, who's going to see him like a king and allow him to treat her like a queen, right? So oftentimes we have a lot more control than we think, but what typically happens is we go, well, all of those things are not within my control, so I'm just going to sulk here, right? And if you think that sulking is the answer, it's not. If you think that feeling like a victim is the answer, it's not. If you think posting negatively about your ex or about work or the economy is the answer, it's not. Because those are things you can't control. Your boss fired you. Who gives a crap? You can't control that. What you can do is, how many ways can you increase your high value skills? Can you become a better marketer, better copywriter, better salesperson? Can you be a traffic buyer? Whatever it is that you did, if you were a leader in a company, can you become an even better leader for the next company? So that not only are you going to get hired in the shitty economy, but you're also going to get a promotion as you get hired. We're always looking for the best. As someone that owns 7 companies, I can tell you, I'm always hiring. I'm always looking for the best of the best of the best of the best. There's not a lot of best of the best of the best. And so you really do get paid what you're worth. And I share that with you because you can control the skills that you develop. You can control how your physique looks. You can control your language pattern, your thought patterns. You can control how you show up in terms of a optimist or a pessimist. You can control the people that you surround yourself with. You can control the thoughts that occupy your mind. You can control so many great variables. What time you work out, whether you drink water instead of coffee or beer. You can control what kind of foods you eat, what time you go to bed. And if you realize that all these things that are within your control, if you were to grasp them and no, make no mistake about it, there are times that you're going to have to do a lot more than you've done to get the same results. I can tell you this, in 2020, during the pandemic, I had to do a lot more to get the same results for my business, right? Let me tell you, when you've got a fitness franchise and all these gyms and restaurants are under attack during the pandemic, it does not feel good to have to work 10 times the amount to get almost the same results that you were getting before March of 2020. But we did that for a 16-month stint straight. Me and my entire team at HQ worked as hard as we can, 10 times harder to get almost the same results. Not even the same results that we used to get. But I share this with you because what is the alternative? The only factors that we could control, we took advantage of. And the things that we couldn't control, how long the pandemic is going to last, whether there's going to be another, payment out from the PPP, whether the SBA is going to give us a loan. I couldn't control any of those things. All I could control is, can we make more sales calls? Can we drive more leads? Can we figure out how to reactivate old prospects? Can we do anything within our power to make things work while we're going through a really crappy time in the world economy, right? Because you have to understand, this too shall pass. And if you have that mindset that this will pass, whatever hardship you're going through in life, personal, relational, financial, business, health, mindset, or emotional, this too shall pass. But you can't just sit around and wait for it to pass. You have to control the controllables and take action on the things that that are within your control, so that this will pass faster, right? My friend Jason Redmond, retired Navy SEAL, says, you've got to become a active participant in saving your own ass. He found himself sitting on the X of ambush, right? That X of ambush. And he was all shot up as a Navy SEAL. And his team didn't just sit around and wait for the gunfire to end before they saved him. They started taking action. They started to call in airstrikes. They started to shoot back at the enemy while two guys ran out and dragged Jason back and were able to save his life. They controlled the controllables. Obviously, they were there on a mission to capture a bad guy. Little did they know that the bad guys had set up an ambush, and this ambush was going to end up really doing a lot of bad things. One of them was that Jason was going to get shot up across his whole body. And while they couldn't control those factors, what they could control was, how do we save this guy, right? And so understand that in your life, there are a lot of variables that you can control. And rather than dwelling on the things that are outside of your control, like the economy, the moves the president makes, your boss, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, focus on the things that are in your control. Like, become a better man, get fit, read more books, create a community of like-minded dudes who are savages, who want to get after it, who are optimistic in life, who have hope, who are doing something productive, serving humanity. And when you do that, you realize, holy shit, life is not so bad after all. Like, I don't have to be a victim, and I don't have to wait for my life to change. I can be an active participant in changing my own life. And that's what I want for you guys. So again, guys, I know life is hard. Life is comes with its own ups and downs. It ain't just you. I feel it too. A lot of people that I know feel it. Like, a lot of guys that you follow with the blue check mark feel it. We talk. The only difference is we have gotten used to controlling the variables that are within our control. Some of you think that your life can only improve when other things that are outside of your control can get better. It's never the other things outside of your control. Never look for an external locus of control. Focus on that internal locus of control. Control those variables, and when you do, you will have an awesome life.